Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so just doing another reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Where are we at?
Canto 3, Chapter 17, Text 20, The Victory of Hiranyaksha.
Yeah, we might get close to finishing this chapter today.
Oh.
Maybe not. It's quite a few pages.
Let's see.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 20. His younger brother Hiranyaksha was always ready to satisfy his elder brother by his activities. Hiranyaksha took a club on his shoulder and travelled all over the universe with a fighting spirit, just to satisfy Hiranyakashipu. Purport. The demoniac spirit is to train all family members to exploit the resources of this universe for personal sense gratification, whereas the godly spirit is to engage everything in the service of the Lord. Hiranyakashipu was himself very powerful, and he made his younger brother Hiranyaksha powerful to assist him in fighting with everyone and lording it over material nature as long as possible. If possible, he wanted to rule the universe eternally. These are demonstrations of the spirit of the demoniac living entity.
There you go. So the nature of the demoniac personalities, they just want, we want to rule the world. Want the world and we want it now.
Also, demoniac personalities bring out the worst in us.
Nice point.
Prabhupada
That's
thing.
good.
They don't, like Prabhupada in the purport, they don't engage in the service, encourage each other's the service of the Lord, even if you're not devotees of a higher consciousness. If they come to you, they bring out your lower nature.
Good point. Good point. Okay, text 21. Hiranyaksha's temper was difficult to control. He had anklets of gold tinkling about his feet. He was adorned with a gigantic garland, and he rested his huge mace on one of his shoulders. Text 22. His mental and bodily strength, as well as his boon conferred upon him, his mental and bodily strength, as well as the boon conferred upon him, had made him proud. He feared death at the hands of no one, and there was no checking him. The gods therefore were seized with fear at his very sight, and they hid themselves, even as snakes hide themselves for fear of Garuda. Purport. The Asuras are generally strong-built, as described here, and therefore their mental condition is very sound, and their prowess is also extraordinary. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, having received the boon that they would not be killed by any other living entity within this universe, were almost immortal, and thus they were completely fearless. Interesting. So this is talking about the disposition.
Text 23. On not finding Indra and the other demigods who had previously been intoxicated with power...
Intoxicated.
Intoxicated.
New word.
Intoxicated with power, the chief of the Daityas, seeing that they had all vanished before his might, roared loudly. Text 24. After returning from the heavenly kingdom, the mighty demon, who was like an elephant in wrath, for the sake of sport, dived into the deep ocean, which was roaring terribly. Text 25. On his entering the ocean, the aquatic animals who formed the host of Varuna were stricken with fear and ran far away. Thus Hiranyakashipu showed his splendour without dealing a blow. Purport. Materialistic demons sometimes appear to be very powerful and are seen to establish their supremacy throughout the world. Here also it appears that Hiranyaksha, by his demoniac strength, actually established his supremacy throughout the universe. and the demigods were afraid of his uncommon power. Not only were the demigods in space afraid of the demons Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, but so also were the aquatic animals within the sea.
So who dived into the sea? Hiranyaksha.
Yes.
Okay. Moving about, text 26, moving about in the ocean for many, many years, the mighty Hiranyaksha smote the gigantic wind-tossed waves. Sorry, I need to look up that word, smote. What does smote mean?
Surf?
Let's see. Strike with a firm blow. Be strongly attracted to someone or something. Smote. Smote or smite. That's the word smite, but anyway. The gigantic wind-tossed waves again and again with his iron mace and reached Vibhavari, the capital of Varuna. Okay, interesting. Purport. Varuna is supposed to be the predominating deity of the waters, and his capital, which is known as Vibhavari, is within the watery kingdom. So I guess just like, amongst the Roman times, so you've got Neptune as the king of the sea, and so he's gone to Varun. Okay, Varun Dev.
Text 27, Vibhavari is the home of Varuna, lord of the aquatic creatures and guardian of the lower regions of the universe, where the demons generally reside. There Hiranyaksha fell at Varuna's feet like a low-born man, and to make fun of him he said with a smile, "Give me battle, O Supreme Lord." Purport. The demoniac person always challenges others and tries to occupy others' property by force. Here these symptoms are fully displayed by Hiranyaksha, who begged war from a person who had no desire to fight.
So at first I thought, he's laid himself at the feet of Varun, like, oh, well, that sounds interesting. He's humbled himself. But no, he's making fun of him. He's saying, he's bowed down, oh, please, please fight with me, knowing, like a bully, he knows he's going to probably beat him up, kind of thing. Give me battle. Text 28. You are the guardian of an entire sphere and a ruler of wide fame. Having crushed the might of arrogant and conceited warriors and having conquered all the Daityas and Danavas in the world, you once performed a Rajasuya sacrifice to the Lord. So it looks like this is Hiranyaksha speaking to Varuna. Text 29. Thus mocked by an enemy whose vanity knew no bounds, the worshipful Lord of the waters waxed angry. But by dint of his reason, he managed to curb the anger that had sprung up in him, and he replied, "O dear one, we have now desisted from warfare, having grown too old for combat." So he was kind of taking the mickey out of him now, basically. Purport. As we see, warmongering materialists always create fighting without reason. Interesting.
Text 30.
Seems some things never change.
That's true. Let's not get into that. Politics, isn't it? Text 30. You are so skilled in war that I do not see anyone else but the most ancient person, Lord Vishnu, who can give satisfaction in battle to you. Therefore, O chief of the Asuras, approach him, whom even heroes like you mention, with praise. Purport. Aggressive materialistic warriors are actually punished by the Supreme Lord for their policy of unnecessarily disturbing world peace. Therefore, Varuna advised Hiranyaksha that the right course to satisfy his fighting spirit would be to seek to fight with Vishnu. Which I think is also intelligent way of, because he knows Vishnu's going to beat him up and succeed. So it's like, and because Hiranyaksha, like most bullies and dictators and politicians, because they're all the same. They're so covered, ignorant. They're puffed up, so they take the bait. So make, you're so amazing. Here's a worthy opponent for you. Go after this one. He'll satisfy you. And it's true. When you have wealth, you want more. When you've got power, you want more. It brings insecurity. So if there is someone that may be worth equal to you, or someone who could, challenge you, then you're gonna try and suppress them. So it's very intelligent of Varuna to say, "Now go after Vishnu. He's the one. He's the one you got to fight." And we all know what's gonna, even if regardless of knowing the story or not, Vishnu is always victorious in that way. So it's very clever of him.
Okay, so now we did finish the chapter. We've got the last verse and purport now, and we'll conclude with this. Text 31 of chapter 17. Excuse me. No reading is complete without me clearing my throat. Varuna continued, "On reaching him, you will be rid of your pride at once, and will lie down on the field of battle, surrounded by dogs for eternal sleep. It is in order to exterminate wicked fellows like you, and to show his grace to the virtuous, that he assumes his various incarnations like Varaha." So it seems here at this point Varuna is obviously making a clear prediction, and he's saying basically that Varuna is going to whoop your backside and leave you lying like on the battlefield surrounded by dogs for eternal sleep. But then he also says that he assumes his various incarnations like Varaha. So he's kind of predicting Varaha's appearance at that point. Because he hasn't appeared, and how does he know? So, anyway.
Spoiler alert.
Hey, Krishna. Purport. Asuras do not know that their bodies consist of the 5 elements of material nature, and that when they fall, they become objects of pastimes for dogs and vultures. Varuna advised Hiranyaksha to meet Vishnu in his boar incarnation, so that his hankering for aggressive war would be satisfied, and his powerful body would be vanquished. Yes. Disappearance of Hiranyaksha ki jai. Appearance of Lord Varaha Dev ki jai.
Yeah, exciting.
So it's interesting because we already read about the appearance of Lord Varaha Dev, but now we're hearing about it again from a different perspective, post hearing who Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu are. Jai and Vijay fallen from the spiritual world. So in this way the Bhagavatam is not chronological. It's not given in a certain chronological order, like this is the beginning, this is the end. But also according to our Vedic perspective of time, we don't see time as linear really anyway. We see time as secular. So it means it goes around in cycles. So that's why when we hear things about pastimes of Lord Varahadev, where in one yuga or one millennium he was red, and in another one he was white or black or brown or blue or whatever, then we don't get disturbed like, oh, someone got the facts wrong, because there's so many different millenniums that Varahadev appears in. He can be any color he wants. So like that, we don't see things as like a linear time. It's not like Judeo-Christian. It's actually, the Vedic perspective is that everything is just going around in circles. So it's time, and time is very long. Just one day of Lord Brahma is, so many millions of years for us. So, like that. Anyway, thus end the Bhaktivedanta Purports of the 3rd Canto, 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Victory of Hiranyaksha over all the directions of the universe. Dun, 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 dun. Any closing words?
I did. I forgot now after you.
My soliloquy?
Yeah. What to do? Not to worry. All right, we'll see you next time.
Next time we'll start chapter 18.
Yeah, exciting.
So make sure you got the right book. Is it still in that one?
Yeah, because this is a new one.
Oh, it's a new book.
Yeah,
okay.
this chapter
So you
7.
just started chapter 17.
And there's
in the
still
small
another
ones.
one.
Yes, it's a long canto, chapter 3.
Yeah,
Canto 3.
there's another book like this.
So the next one is chapter 18, and now we're going to hear again the battle between Lord Boar and the demon Hiranyaksha. Dun, da, da, da. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.